The new season of Gold Rush has barely begun, yet Rick Ness already finds himself in a fight for survival. His Duncan Creek claim, which once promised endless riches, has become a frustrating prison. The water license needed to run his operations hasn't come through, and without it, the stockpiles of gold sitting on his claim are untouchable. Every day that passes is money lost, and with gold prices at historic highs, Rick knows that waiting could cost him the entire season. At 44, Rick is no stranger to setbacks. He's battled frozen machinery, treacherous rivers, broken crew dynamics, and regulatory roadblocks throughout his career. But this year, the bureaucracy has him cornered like never before. With no other option, he must return to Lightning Creek, a claim he once leased from his longtime landlord, Troy Taylor. It's not the independence Rick dreams of, but without ground to mine, there's no hope of salvaging the season. Rick arrives at Lightning Creek knowing he must act fast. The deal he seeks is simple: access to the ground so he can start mining. But in the world of gold, nothing is ever simple. As he sits down with Troy, the conversation inevitably turns to money. Rick aims for a 10% royalty, a fair compromise in his mind, but Troy quickly makes it clear that times have changed. He wants 20%. The demand hits Rick hard. 20% is steep, forcing him to shoulder all the financial risk while handing over a significant portion of any gold he produces. He argues his case, pointing out their 6-year working relationship and his consistent track record of delivering real results. He counters with 15%, reminding Troy that while others may talk big, Rick actually produces gold. The negotiation is tense. Troy holds firm, emphasizing the value of the claim and the scarcity of ground in the Keno Mountains. Yet after careful consideration, he finally relents, agreeing to 15%. The victory is tempered by a harsh reality: Rick also owes Troy $350,000, guaranteed, regardless of how the season unfolds. It's a heavy financial burden, but it's the price of access. For Rick, the deal isn't perfect. It's far from the independence he hoped to regain, but it offers something far more important: a chance to mine again. With Lightning Creek officially under his control once more, he finally has ground to run dirt, and a clear path forward for the season. High in the mountains above Keno, Rick's focus shifts to action. The crew is ready, and heavy machinery is loaded onto trucks for the trek to Lightning Creek. The site is remote, rugged, and filled with potential, lying along the trail of gold that stretches toward Mount Hinton, one of the richest prospects in the district. If Rick can hit the right spot, this could be the lifeline the season desperately needs. Before the journey begins in earnest, an old friend arrives to bolster the team. Z, Rick's trusted right-hand man, shows up with a new recruit, Kai Shallcross. Young and relatively inexperienced, Kai's only background is handling smaller equipment like mini excavators. But Rick doesn't hesitate: every extra pair of hands matters. He sees potential in Kai and welcomes the help, knowing that a strong team will be crucial for this high-stakes season. The caravan moves heavy iron from Duncan Creek to Lightning Creek, navigating rugged terrain that tests both machines and drivers. Hours later, they reach the claim. Rick surveys the valley, already thinking in layers, overburden, pay streaks, and hidden pockets of gold. The first target is a 2-acre area that Troy began stripping last season. From above, the cut resembles a diamond, and Rick names it the Diamond Cut, a fitting symbol for the high-value gold he hopes lies beneath. Mining in Keno is never straightforward. The ground is unpredictable, and the stakes are high. To meet his seasonal goals, Rick must haul in over 100 ounces of gold per week. One wrong dig could waste days, even weeks, of effort. But the right spot could pay off handsomely, making the risk worth it. Every decision: where to dig, how deep, and when to move equipment, carries weighty consequences. Rick's crew sets to work immediately, firing up engines, swinging buckets, and breaking ground on the Diamond Cut. The excitement is tangible, but so is the pressure. With Troy involved and a royalty agreement in place, Rick must balance speed, efficiency, and precision to make the claim profitable. Every ounce counts, every mistake is costly, and every success is hard-won. Lightning Creek may not have been Rick's first choice for the season, but it's the opportunity he needed when the odds were stacked against him. The deal with Troy is far from perfect. He's giving up part of his gold, paying a hefty upfront sum, and facing one of the most unpredictable claims of his career. But it's also a lifeline, a place to mine, and a chance to salvage a season that seemed doomed before it even began. For Rick Ness, this is more than just a deal. It's a test of experience, skill, and resilience. It's about navigating bureaucracy, managing risk, and leading a crew through uncertainty. And it's a reminder that in the Keno Mountains, nothing comes easy, especially gold. As the sun rises over Lightning Creek, engines roar, and shovels dig into the dirt, Rick and his team begin the hunt. The stakes are high, the risks are enormous, and the rewards could be life-changing. This is Gold Rush at its purest, a relentless pursuit of fortune, driven by grit, determination, and the unshakable belief that somewhere beneath the mountains lies the next big strike. Rick Ness may not have gotten the deal he wanted, but he has what matters most: ground to mine, a crew ready to dig, and the unyielding drive to chase the gold, no matter the cost. The season is officially underway. For miners in the Keno Mountains, water permits are often the invisible obstacle standing between them and the gold beneath their feet. Without an approved permit, even the most experienced crews and the most advanced equipment are rendered useless, unable to run sluices, trommels, or excavators that rely on water to separate gold from gravel. Securing these permits is rarely straightforward. Applications can be delayed by bureaucratic red tape, environmental reviews, or competing claims, and in some cases, miners are forced to wait months or even years before seeing approval. For someone like Rick Ness, who already has a stockpile of gold ready to process, a stalled permit doesn't just slow production, it threatens the entire season. He's forced into difficult decisions: lease ground from other landowners, negotiate royalty agreements, or gamble on untested claims just to keep his crew working and his operation afloat. The scarcity of water permits has created a high-stakes environment where every decision carries weight, and even minor delays can turn a promising season into a financial nightmare. In Gold Rush, water permits aren't just paperwork, they're a lifeline, and miners must constantly navigate the complex bureaucracy to stay in the game, proving that in this industry, gold isn't the only thing that's hard to find. Rick Ness could be facing a long wait before his water permit comes through. Securing these permits often takes months, sometimes stretching into an entire season, and there's no guarantee of approval even after all the paperwork is submitted. While Rick has experience navigating these bureaucratic hurdles, this delay could force him to rely on leased ground, negotiate new deals, or take calculated risks on untested claims just to keep mining. The uncertainty adds pressure not only to Rick but also to his crew, as every day without access to his own claim is a lost opportunity. If the permit doesn't arrive quickly, Rick may have to adapt his strategy mid-season, balancing the need for immediate gold with the hope that the official approval will eventually allow him to fully operate his own ground.